Hi friends, it's Miss Lauren. I wanted to share with you today how to make Play-Doh at home since it's such a rainy day today. Might be fun to do some stuff inside. So I'm going to show you how you can make Play-Doh in your own house using stuff that you can probably find in your kitchen. So what you're going to need some flour, you're going to need salt, you're going to need vegetable oil or canola oil, and you're just going to need water too. So you're going to need, let's move our ingredients out of the way so we need them. So you're going to need a mixing bowl. We're going to use 4 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of the oil, and then we're going to use about 1.5 cups of the salt. And then to mix it all together, we're going to use 1 cup of warm water. And in the water, what we're going to do to make it a little more fun, we're going to mix in some food coloring. Miss Lauren chose to do some green today. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is mix our dry ingredients, which is our salt and our flour. So remember Miss Lauren said you need 4 cups of the flour. So I have my measuring cup here and my flour. So you're going to scoop 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's it for our flour. So next we need our salt. So we're going to do 1.5 cups of our salt. So first I'm going to do the cup. Pour it in. And then next I'm going to do my 1/2 cup. And pour that in. Okay, so that's it for our salt. So next you probably want to get like a whisk or a fork. And you're just going to mix that flour and that salt together. Try not to spill it outside the bowl. Okay. So next what we're going to do is you need 1 cup of warm water. So it doesn't need to be hot water. So I'm going to run over to my faucet, turn on my water. Make sure it's not too hot, but it's warm. And fill up a cup. So I got my cup of water here. But remember we are going to add some food coloring. So I'm going to grab my food coloring now, drop a few drops into my water, give that a little stir with a spoon or a fork. You can even use the whisk. And Miss Lauren's going to pour that into her dry ingredients here. Start mixing that up a little bit. But then we need one more thing. We need our vegetable oil or canola oil. And you're going to use 2 tablespoons of that. So 1 and 2. So you're going to start mixing that together until you can kind of see your dough forming. You could also use your hands for this, because you can see as the dough is starting to form, it's getting stuck in my whisk. So I'm going to start using my hands to mix this all together. And as you can see, and you can feel it too, it's starting to feel like dough, and it's starting to mix together. So this is kind of the fun part, getting to feel it all getting squished together. It's starting to form a little bit. Still kind of hard. So if you feel like it's a little dry, you can add a little oil or add a little more water. I'm going to add a little more oil. It's still a little dry, so Miss Lauren's going to add some more warm water. She's going to put a little more food coloring in because it didn't seem like her food coloring got mixed in very well. So she's going to pour that in and start mixing that in a little bit more. See a little bit more of my green food coloring. I really want to get to the stuff that's down at the bottom. Make sure you're really mixing everything together. But just this kind of same thing as like cooking or baking. Sometimes you gotta adjust stuff to see if it's not coming out the way you wanted it to. So my dough is still feeling a little dry. So I'm going to add a little bit more water, just a teeny bit, with some more food coloring. Pour that all in. Keep mixing it. So it should start to get into a kind of a ball form, like one big solid ball. You see how that's finally kind of coming together? So at this point, if you ever made pizza dough, or if you ever made dough to make bread, at this point you're going to need to knead our dough. So to knead our dough, we're going to need some flour. So Miss Lauren's going to grab some more flour. She's going to spread it on her counter like this. Get it on her hands a little bit so it doesn't get sticky, and take her dough out of the bowl. And you're just going to kind of knead it. So it doesn't feel sticky. You don't want your dough to be sticky. So if your dough is feeling dry, just like I was doing earlier, you might want to add some more water or some more oil to it. But if your dough is feeling sticky, you want to add more flour to it. So Miss Lauren's going to keep rolling in here. And it looks like her green has finally come in. It's a little bit of a light green, but it's a nice spring green. So you just kind of want to knead it until it feels good to you. going to get rid of some of this flour because my dough is starting to feel pretty good. So you can see, I'm going to rip off a piece here. It's starting to turn into some dough. So you can keep kneading it until you get the right consistency that you want for your Play-Doh. And if for some reason later it starts feeling a little sticky, you can just add a little more flour to it. But got a nice big ball here. And there you go. So now you're free to play with your own homemade Play-Doh. And this should last you for a little while. You could probably put it in a Tupperware or a Ziploc bag. You could keep it in the fridge if you want. It might last a little bit longer, but you can also just keep it out. But make sure if it's out of the refrigerator, you're putting it in some sort of container. So there you go, friends. I just made that with stuff I had in my kitchen. So maybe you can go ahead and try it at your house. But make sure that we ask Mom and Dad if it's okay first before we start pulling stuff out in the kitchen. But there you go. I hope we had fun today. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time, see ya.